So the season is fast approaching and Chelsea is a busy place. Lots of possible wins, lots of possible outs. We need to get to the bottom of this, and there is no bigger transfer this summer now, in my eyes, than Real Madrid's replacement, and that could be Eden Hazard. It's been spoken about for so long. Rory from CFC Fan TV joins me now just to have a chat, break this down and figure out, is he going to go? Is it the right move? And how have Chelsea got themselves into this situation? That's my first question then, Rory. What's your feeling about this whole situation? Because we spoke in March, I think, and I said, is he going to go? And you said, yeah.
There was a time when I thought that was the case. And the thing is, James, as you can tell, this changes like hourly. It changes with the wind. But the way I feel about it now, and obviously I'm a Chelsea fan and therefore trying to be as positive as possible, but I think that there is a glimmer that we can hold on to our talisman, and we really need to. There's no point in bringing in a manager who is known for playing beautiful, expansive football and then selling the one player who's going to benefit from that system more than any other.
Yeah.
So I really do think that we have to break our neck to keep hold of him. And things that are coming out of the club, it's all, it's shrouded in mystery, but the little tidbits of information that are coming out are looking good, I think.
Well, you say that, but that quote that's been everywhere is that look, it's been 6 years. Essentially, come and get me. He's been he loves a little flirt, doesn't he, with Real Madrid? Yeah,
he's actually. This is the reason why I was so convinced he was going to go, is because Hazard's actually been. I think he's conducted himself really well. He's made no secret of the fact that he is an admirer of Zinedine Zidane, loves Real Madrid, but also he's been fully committed to Chelsea. What he hasn't been is Thibaut Courtois. He hasn't been that, forever flirting with Real Madrid, forever saying that his heart lies in Madrid. Like, he's driven people mad.
Yeah.
And now everyone wants him out.
Right.
Hazard hasn't done that. I think I'm actually full of admiration the way that he's conducted himself. Which is why when he said that, why it suddenly thought, oh, this is happening. However, since then, this is what I mean by it changing all the time. Since then, there's been a tiny few little reasons why I think that he could be staying. One of them actually is his brother Kylian, who is on Chelsea's books.
Yeah.
Actually commented.
Is he still on Chelsea's books?
He's still on Chelsea's books. Yeah, I think he's playing in Hungary. I've no idea how I know that, or if it's true, but I think he's playing in Hungary. But there was a post that went out on Instagram saying, when people who are really good on like doctoring photos, they put Hazard in a Real Madrid kit with the question, should he or shouldn't he? And Kylian actually came up with the emoji.
Don't do
it's not making me a hat. Someone's going to make me a hammer. Yeah.
Gift that out. Wait for someone gift that out. Send that to me at James Allcott. Thank you.
But yeah, Kylian came on with the emoji anyway that said "Don't do it," and and Hazard is a massive family man, and I think that his brother saying that, he wouldn't be doing that blind. Hazard Junior knows what Hazard Senior's thinking. Surely.
The big thing for me is it's a World Cup year. And so that kind of puts everything back initially, but then you've got it getting squeezed from the other side with the transfer window being shut before the start of the season.
Yes, we can't allow him to run it down either. We can't have the Alexis Sanchez situation. We just can't allow that. So we need a resolution. Whether that resolution is Hazard signing for Real Madrid or Hazard extending his contract to Chelsea, one of those two things has to happen.
Yeah,
he has to sign a contract though.
That's what you want, obviously. And add to that, all of these things, you got that come from that side, the end of the transfer window. You've got the World Cup, so often people go, look, I just want to focus on the World Cup and then have a little holiday, then I'll let my agent sort it out. And then you add into that a new manager, and then you add into that a new manager who could not be more different to the manager before in terms of the style of play.
Yeah.
I think that's adding something to this as well.
Absolutely.
Which club is better for Hazard? Can he get out of his own way, and can Real Madrid get out of their own way and see if this is the right move for them tactically on the pitch? Do you think it's for Hazard? Do you think he'd be better off at Real Madrid because of the glamour of it all, and it would allow him to motivate himself to step up to a new level after being at Chelsea for so long? Or does he need to be playing in a team that plays like Sarri?
I think it's a really interesting question. I think to answer it, Real Madrid, let's just acknowledge that Real Madrid are always the biggest attraction, such an alluring club to any footballer. If you're a footballer who plays like Eden Hazard, even a little bit more. So let's acknowledge that. I would then say though, once you admit that Real Madrid are probably one of the best destinations for a footballer to go to, I would then say that this is probably the worst time. So they're still the best, but it's not the best time
to go there. Yeah,
it's a very interesting time for Real Madrid, and I kind of think that when you know when a club have won a hat-trick of Champions Leagues in a row, like, I don't know if we'll ever see something like that again. I don't think people are fully acknowledging that's something that history will be very kind to that team and that achievement.
Yeah.
I don't think people now are necessarily acknowledging the magnificence of that, the grandeur of that.
Huge.
Like, we've won one ever. And I kind of feel like we've clocked football. You know, if we never win another trophy, I'll always have Munich. They won 3 on a bounce.
Yeah.
Like, what are you...
And no one's done that.
No one's come
got near that.
No. I mean, it really is huge. But, you know, Ronaldo's gone, Zidane's gone. There's 2 ways of looking at it. Hazard could come in and pioneer a new era. Equally, you sort of think, after winning 3 in a row, chances of you winning 4 are so remote. I know, you know, it can happen, but just law of averages, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And if he then comes in and is the main guy, you know, the Galactico around a new era that doesn't win a Champions League, I'm not convinced that is the dream scenario for Hazard going to Real Madrid. I feel like he will at one point in his career play for Real Madrid. Just not convinced that from his perspective now is the dream scenario. I
think there's a lot of pride involved in this on both sides. One, Hazard has always wanted to go there, so I think that's going to cloud his judgment a little bit, because I think when you look at it tactically, you look at it tactically and then you go head and go heart. Chelsea playing the Europa League this year. It's a league where those 4 sides ahead of you. I mean, Spurs obviously haven't signed anyone else, but the other 3 are getting stronger and stronger. So it's going to get harder for you to just get in the Champions League, let alone go and win a Champions League. But then tactically, Real Madrid, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for him there right now.
No, I'm inclined to agree with you.
But I still think Real Madrid we're Real Madrid, we need to buy a marquee signing, regardless of if he fits or not, we'll make it fit afterwards. And that's why I still think this will happen. I still think Hazard will go, not because it's the right move, but you're basing it on Real Madrid, so
you think it's going to happen because Real Madrid want it to happen, and Real Madrid are a club that get their way.
My sort of life as a football fan, looking at Real Madrid,
this is what they do. Yeah. This is like when they signed Zidane, they signed Beckham, they signed Figo,
and they went too far with it.
This is what they do. Yeah, Ronaldo, like they do it constantly. I see that, but there's one reason. I agree as well, but there's one reason why it won't happen, because what you need to make that happen is you need the player to want to go. So the only way they can ever do it is when the player's up for it. And if the player is up for it, it will happen.
Yeah.
I'm just not convinced that...
You think he's having second thoughts?
Why now? Why, like, if you're Eden Hazard, Chelsea are about to put you on 300 grand a week, your family are in London, you're settled in London, your kids are in school, there is a new manager arriving at the club who is going to apparently change the entire philosophy of Stamford Bridge. He is on course to become Chelsea's greatest ever player, if he isn't already. I mean, you can make a case for him being that already, but he's, you know, going to enhance his position in that. He's well liked in the Premier League. This move is still possible. If, you know, I'm just from his perspective, if I was Hazard and Mrs. Hazard having the conversation, should we go to Madrid? I just don't know why you do it now. He's young, and he's in the top 3 Chelsea players that have ever played the game. He's on course to become the best ever. I'm not sure. I
don't think he cares about that, does he? Does he care about being the best at Chelsea, or does he care about being the best one year and winning a Ballon d'Or or winning a Champions League? He's got more chance of doing that at Real Madrid.
Yeah, he does.
Even if it's not this year, maybe in a couple of years.
This is almost the impossible argument for me, because I'm coming up with reasons to not sign for Real Madrid. And despite acknowledging that they are the best, greatest club in world football ever.
In terms of money, there's been talk of an initial bid of 112 million. There's been talk that Chelsea...
No, 112 million is ridiculous.
There's been talk that Chelsea want at least over 150 million. There's been talk that he should be 200 million. Yeah. What's an amount of money you go, look, fair enough?
How is he not in the Neymar bracket? What was Neymar? 200 million?
Yeah.
How's he not part of that? I mean, I honestly can't even understand a conversation where somebody would go, 112. It would be like I just don't get it. I really can't see where you're coming from.
Contract as well, I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I just don't see where you're coming from to suggest that. So Cristiano Ronaldo, acknowledging who he is, Cristiano Ronaldo just went for 100 million. He's practically got a decade on Hazard. Like, Hazard is absolutely in the Neymar price range, and if anybody who watched the World Cup would have to agree with that.
Yeah,
you know, Neymar's got this kind of aura, and I get it, and I think that Neymar is a wonderful player who also doesn't often get the credit he deserves, but nobody could ever make a case for him being. I wouldn't hear a case for him being better than Hazard, but I'm not having that he's £80 million better than him.
Yeah,
like
I guess there's a marketability that Neymar has.
There is,
Hazard doesn't have.
and of course PSG. It's a different when you're dealing with. If Chelsea were dealing with PSG over Hazard, it would be a different conversation.
So if I'm going to you, look, Hazard wants to go, right? What's the deal that you want?
Okay,
give me the.
So I'm Chelsea chairman. I'm dealing with.
Okay,
right, let's do this. I'm okay. If you want to take Hazard from me, I'm Bruce Buck. You want Hazard, this is what I want from you, and this is the only way the deal happens. I want £100 million in cash, not in instalments. So like now, bank transfer, you pay the bank fees.
Right.
I want that across, 100 million.
Right.
Then I want Raphael Varane, and I want Isco. And only then are we even having any more words. So that's it. That's the end of my conversation. I want 100 million now, Varane, Isco. Make that happen, or don't say another word.
So what if I then came back and go, okay, I can't give you Varane and Isco because the gaffer Lopetegui, he wants Isco.
He wants Varane.
Varane's probably the best centre backs in the world.
Agreed.
Agreed.
That's what I want him.
That's a lot.
That's what I want him though. I'm not going to sign someone nobody's heard of.
But Isco's probably worth about 70, maybe more. Varane's probably worth about.
You asked me what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah, we're talking. Okay. Right. So that's going up to what? That's nearly 220,
which is a bargain for you. You're doing well here.
Right. So 220. What if I go? I can't do that, but I'll give you 200 million now.
If you, the only other way that this deal could happen for me is if you make Eden Hazard the world's most expensive player ever.
Okay.
So break all records.
Right.
And don't be giving me any instalment nonsense. You pay it.
Yeah,
you pay it now.
5 mil each year.
No. You pay it.
Okay. So that's the deal that Rory wants. Is that a fair deal, or is he going a little bit too far? Could it happen? What do you think is a fair deal for Hazard to move to Real Madrid? Let us know in the comments below. Head over to CFC Fan TV. We're going to have a bit more of a chat on this. Really dive into it because I mean, not only that, there's other transfers with Chelsea kicking off as well. So head over to CFC Fan TV and you can check out that video. If you enjoyed this video, click like. As I said, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to Bull Street, and we'll see you soon.